Hello and welcome back to the Lake District. I've come back to Glenridding where I was 2 weeks ago, and when I was here 2 weeks ago the original plan for that walk was to climb up Helvellyn via Swirral Edge. But when we got to Swirral Edge, I was walking with my son, we realised that the conditions were a lot more treacherous than we had anticipated, and so we did the sensible thing and turned round and made a different route back down the fell. Well, I've come back this week to climb again up to Helvellyn, but this time I'm better equipped. I've got my ice axe with me and I've got crampons. So that's the plan for today's walk. Head up hopefully to Helvellyn via Swirral Edge, and then all being well, make my way down via Rays and try and make it to the ski toe, which I attempted to reach a month or so ago, but had to turn back again because of weather conditions. So that's the plan for today's walk. So join me as we do another winter hike, this time up to Helvellyn via Swirral Edge. So we get a good view there of the old mine workings. There's a youth hostel just down there at the bottom of the valley, just to my right next to the White House. Members of the Lake District Ski Club have parking space just at the quarry, at the mine, because this is one of the quickest routes to access the ski toe, which is just below Rays, which hopefully, if all goes to plan, we'll see later on today. So we get a good view there of the fells covered in winter snow. Cat's eye cam right in front of us. You can just make out Striding Edge as well in the distance. The weather conditions in terms of visibility are actually better today than they were 2 weeks ago. And I think there's probably been additional snow since last time I was here. How about that for a spectacular winter landscape? So we've got Striding Edge here on the left and Swirral Edge here on the right. Jesse. Hi. Hi.
You're a shit.
She.
She's not.
I know. So welcome to the top of Helvellyn. Took quite a while getting up Swirral Edge. I'm very glad I bought my ice axe and crampons. I would not have attempted Swirral Edge without them. It just isn't safe at all. So if you think you can hit Swirral Edge, you need to be properly equipped for winter walking. But beautiful views up here today. Anyway, it'll be a much simpler route down. So I saw a little mouse running across the top of Helvellyn towards the shelter on the top of the mountain. Maybe that's where it lives and scavenges for food left by walkers. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it on film. Anyway, I'm just walking across the Helvellyn Summit plateau. Look down towards Striding Edge, but then I'm going to take a different route down, a much easier, simpler route. But just coming this way to get a good view. So this is the route down to Striding Edge. Not many people on there today, just a few. I did hear some people debating the other week which was more difficult, Striding Edge or Swirral Edge. I'd be interested to know your opinions. A memorial there, which you can't read because it's covered in ice and snow. I think there are more accidents on Striding Edge than there are on Swirral Edge. And I've always tended to think Striding Edge is the more challenging of the two, but others may disagree. Hello. Just have to be careful of the cornice here. Looks like solid ground, but actually, Jessie, come away. It's actually snow. And if you stand on it, it could give away. And you don't want that. Anyway, that's Swirral Edge, just over there. A couple of people just come up it. And the route back down to Red Tarn which is partially frozen over today. And I've got the summit pretty much to myself at the moment. It was quite busy when I got here, but folk have had their lunch and heading off anyway. So it's time for me now to head down the mountain. As I say, it's a much simpler, easier route down than coming up. No need for the ice axe going down. Helvellyn is, I think, the most popular Lake District fell, and it was ranked as one of the main or top walks in the UK, and it certainly gets busy, particularly at weekends and in the summer. It's a mountain that's also accessible from different locations, but shouldn't be underestimated. It is, I think, the third highest mountain in the lakes, but it's also not without its challenges, and particularly if you're coming up Striding Edge or Swirral Edge, unfortunately accidents do happen, people do die, so you just have to be properly equipped and know what you're doing and take care. Never underestimate the mountains. They can be dangerous places. Sun glinting off the snow. Having crampons or micro spikes along here really does make a big difference. Prevents you from slipping. Oh, she is, yeah.
What's she called?
Jessie.
Jessie. Hello. Hi. She's very cute.
She is.
Do you like the snow?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's not fazed by it at all. It's quite a big cornice there. The snow. Jessie, away from the edge. So you get a good view there of Cat's Eye Cam and Swirral Edge up to the summit of Helvellyn, and gives you an idea of the drops that you have along Swirral Edge. So here we are at the ski toe, just below the summit of Rays, covered in ice. Gives you an idea of how cold it is at the moment. As it's not operating today, I'm just going to walk down the route of the ski toe. Look at the ice hanging off the wires. And this, I assume, is the ski track, the ski route, whatever the correct terminology is. I'm not a skier. You can see it goes a fair distance down to that hut. So I'll see if I can get down there. Okay, it's quite icy here, so I'm just going to stop and put my crampons back on. Well, I've got my crampons on now, which makes it a lot easier walking down here, because although it looks like snow, it's sort of got a thin layer of ice over the top. Presumably, if they want to use this, they would have to get the ice off the cables first. So I tried to get here, I think back in January, and I got as far as Sticks Pass, which is just over there. But then the weather conditions really deteriorated and started snowing, blowing a gale, and I had zero visibility, so I decided to turn round, but I was very close indeed. There's another little shelter down there. I assume that's something to do with the ski club. And here we are at the bottom of the ski toe. As I say, goes a fair distance. I had hoped to come here when it was in use and sort of film people, but unfortunately that's not been possible so far this year. It says Lake District Ski Club. This hut and ski toe was built by the members in the glorious summer of 1989. I don't know if I can remember the summer of 1989. Trying to think back. I'd have been 12 years old. Anyway, the path down the mountain is just over there. Drop down into that valley, and down there is the quarries, the mines, which take me down to the valley in the direction of Glenridding. So not too far to go now. If you watched my last video, you will know that I took a fall as I was climbing down the mountain and landed heavily on my left hand. Well, I thought I'd just give you an update on what happened. So the following day, the hand was very swollen, as I suspected it would be. And Sunday evening, I just happened to be chatting to a friend who happens to be a GP, and she saw the hand, and she said to me, "Oh, that doesn't look very good. I think you need to get that checked out." So I actually ended up going to the urgent treatment centre in Penrith on Monday afternoon. Unfortunately, I got there after they had closed the x-ray department, so they weren't able to x-ray the wrist, but the nurse that I saw sort of checked the hand, checked the wrist, and could see it was swollen, but because I couldn't have an x-ray, she gave me a splint. So for the last week I've been wearing this splint on my wrist. I think it is helping. I don't think I've broken anything, but if I did break anything in the wrist, I doubt there's anything they could have really done about it. I suspect it's one of those breaks, if there is a break, that just takes time to heal. So anyway, that's what happened following last week's walk, and as I say, the splint has been helping. It sort of released some of the pressure on the wrist, and hopefully helps the healing process a bit. I don't know if you can make it out on this camera, but that fell in front of me covered in snow is Ray's, and if you look very carefully you can just make out the two huts and the ski tow that goes up the mountain. I'd love to be able to jump into a time machine and go back to the time when they were working the mines here in the fells. You don't see it from ground level, but when you're higher up, the deposits of the stones make this beautiful fan shape. If I had a drone, I could fly it up, you'd see what I mean, but when you look down on the site from the surrounding fells, it's rather attractive. There's the old site of the mining in the fell side there. Well, I'm not far now from Glenridding, so I think I'll probably call it a day here in terms of the video. The light's starting to fail a bit. But thank you so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. And until next time, take care and God bless.